Who were you when you were at your lowest point?
That one's hard. At my lowest, I was still, like, there were still, like, glimpses of me, but it's gonna take me a second. Just someone who very fortunately just feels a lot and, you know, sees a lot, sees the beauty in things, and I really felt that part of me slip away and just become really numb. It's interesting because it was such a long-term situation. So, you know, something really awful happened when I was a child. And, you know, those are like your formative years. So for me, it happened when I didn't really understand. And it was just kind of a buildup over time of like symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder that I didn't really understand. And then, you know, it kind of boiled over the surface later in life. It was like part of who I am for such a long time, and you know how your brain develops, it impacted so many parts of my life. So it wasn't like a, you know, it can happen so many different ways for people. It can be like a situation that just pops up, which is what it was, but just so long ago, it really shaped who I am today.
It's really been quite the journey for her over the last 10 years, and to see, you know, really how far she's come from, you know, overcoming the trauma that she's experienced in her life and overcoming all of the adversity that she faced, you know.
Eric was just so huge for me to, you know, listen to me and encourage me and, you know, support me to get help, because it is such a huge step to take. And it's really hard to say like, hey, I'm not really equipped for this, I need help. Because it's that uncertainty that's scary of what that's gonna look like. So, you know, just having him there to support me was huge. Like he's the person that was there, you know, when it was like my worst day, he was there.
You know, she really kind of opened up about what was happening and how it was impacting her day-to-day life. And obviously I couldn't believe it, you know, kind of shocked, you know, again, you know, from the outside looking in, you think that, you know, here's a happy, successful, you know, young woman working her way through life, you know.
You know, I remember actually not really wanting to get out of bed, and he's like the type of person that would like try to make me laugh and, you know, get me out of bed. And that, you know, that particular day was when I said to him, like, I can't do it anymore. And he's like, okay, you know, we're gonna get through this. So, and you know, I'm sure there's other people I could have talked to, but I just felt like I had to keep a lot inside, and that's, you know, it's not true.
Finally, you know, made a decision to kind of open up and take the concrete steps to seek help, outside help, and you know, try and turn things around and you know, address those old lingering wounds. And it was just, you know, it was really kind of a 180. So.
Fishing is something that I started when I was young, and I had that early introduction to it, but then later in life I was really drawn to it. And a huge part of, what I do is sharing the experiences, sharing the joy, sharing the adventures, and, in hopes to inspire people to get out there and do it. And I think there's so many benefits to it, whether it's, whether you are on a healing journey or whether you just need that reset from your busy life. I think that all of the above have impacted me, and it's just something that I like to put out into the world and share with others, the joy that it brings me, and hopes that, others will connect with it and have that same experience too.
Oh, yeah. Ah! And that's what I was hoping for. This is a nice smallie.
Writing has always been a huge part of what I, where I started, and still it's a huge part of what I do now.
There we go. Beauty fish on the glide, and look at this amazing day behind me here.
And then from there, I started doing more video and, having different opportunities to be part of video projects, and then, social media content and speaking at trade shows and events, getting to share my experiences and educate people. That's one thing I really love to do, especially during the winter time. I travel around to different shows and different communities and get to meet people and connect with people from social media as well.
I guess I can go up here, or should I go back that way?
I would go, up this way, and then I believe we're heading that way. Our good friend Lori actually had let me know that Ashley was going to be hosting a 2-day ladies walleye kind of catch on the Bay of Quinte. And so I said yes. I heard 2 days of fishing, absolutely. And we met just through conversation and text and email first, and then I didn't meet her until we went there, and it was obviously amazing. And she put it all together and brought some amazing ladies together, a couple I'm still friends with and still talk with, and this was going back to 2016. This is where you got that good one last time, Ashley.
Yeah, I love those rocks.
That is a huge rock.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, this looks nice.
Oh, I think I just bumped you with my rod.
That's
Sorry.
okay. Fishing's not everything to us. It's not what really keeps us talking and meeting up, but it's definitely a big one. Oh, we can cast. This looks good.
Oh, I remember we kind of chilled here before,
Yeah,
remember?
we did. We got pictures here for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy sometimes just meeting someone at an event or, connecting on social media. And like Jen, for example, has become such an important person to me. And it feels like, we just happened to meet by chance and just really connected. And, years later, sharing these experiences that mean so much.
I think it starts with the planning, because we get really excited about where we're going to go and what we're going to see. The goal is to catch fish, but it never has to always be that way, because we just know it's going to be good no matter what, or we'll find a spot that we'll go to next time, or we're planning for the next thing. So,
Last cast, officially.
Everything slows down on days like that, and I find I come home feeling really recharged. Like, it really energizes me, and just being around someone who's so positive and who listens, and the conversations that we have, it's just, those days are really, really special.
You're fishy, 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 fishy.
I was telling Peter about that earlier. How's our
Whoa,
positioning?
you see that fish there? Right on top of that boulder.
I thought I saw one.
Yeah, there's one right on top of it. Yep, there's two there. There's two.
Wait.
Real.
When you're getting out there and you're trying to figure out the puzzle, and once it starts coming together, like, you're in a certain area, you start catching fish at a certain depth, and, maybe on a weed line or, around rock in certain depth, and it just starts to click, and you can take that information and, different parts of the lake or river and just replicate it. And that's just such a a rewarding feeling when you figure something out.
Some days it'll be a shallow bite, some days it could be a deep bite, and until you kind of start to get some consistency, it's just a game of figuring out the pieces of the puzzle.
You know, I think on some level that is just something that is appealing to every angler, and the fact that you can go out there and no 2 days are ever the same. It's just the magic of going out, not knowing what's going to happen, and, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to catch some fish.
I mean, any day on the water beats a day at home or beats a day in the office. I mean, that's for sure, but it's always a bit of a gamble, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. But even on the days where, you know, fishing might have been tough, you still learn something from it.
This is the workout of the day. Gonna be worth it. This is the biggest hill.
The healing process is really kind of funny because you're not knowing what to expect going into it. You think, like, is there going to be a switch where I'm just better all of a sudden? But it doesn't really work like that. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I could see kind of quick progress on, but then other things have been ongoing, and there's these little moments that kind of pop up all the time where I think, wow, I just did that. I don't know if I would have done that before, or, you know, the biggest thing, I feel comfortable with that.
Today's adventure, got the kayak out here on a small lake I portaged in, and I'm gonna go try to catch some bass. Got the whole lake to myself. Beautiful fall day.
It's not all at once, it's very gradual, and it just kind of, you know, pops up all the time. I find myself in situations where, you know, maybe I push myself a little bit further to kind of do something like walking in the woods, going hunting on my own in the dark kind of thing. And maybe in the past that would have freaked me out, and it still kind of makes me a little bit nervous, but I know I can do it, I know I'm capable, and, you know, those voices of I can do this are louder than they were before, which I think is kind of one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for.